Hi everyone. Am I audible to everyone? Yes. Okay, so probably we would be starting this session within 5 minutes. So let some few people are few joining up. So let's wait for 5 minutes and then we'll start up the session. So everyone is okay with that? Okay, cool. So if you have any queries, you can ask me in the chat box, which is there. So accordingly, we can have a conversation over it. Is it fine? Okay, Sohail. Thank you so much, Sohail. Good evening, everyone. Am I audible? So we are starting up with this session. Please let me know if I am audible to everyone. Okay, great. So we already have one session which was been conducted by Mr. Satish More on investment declarations on the new HR policies which are been implemented. So we are conducting this session one more time for those people who were not able to attend the previous one, and for also those people who didn't get the clarity about the investment declarations and about the HR policies. So let's begin with the session. I hope everyone, I'm audible to everyone, I'm clear, everyone is able to hear me properly. If you guys have any queries, you can ask me in the chat box. So can we start now? Yeah. So let's start with the investment declaration part first. As we seen that last year we had a lot of problems in regards to the tax calculations. We had a lot of queries. We had a lot of issues. So this year we thought of implementing the investment declarations, the TDS calculation online, and we have this option available on Census, which have made easier for you guys and for us also to have a clarity and have a transparency in regards to your investment calculations, your TDS calculations. Okay, so we have an option where a employee can go and declare his investments by himself in Census. Okay, once you declare your investments, this that part comes directly to the HR department, and accordingly a salary gets calculated. Okay, so it becomes very transparent, very easy. You also have transparency about your TDS calculation, and there is no ambiguity in the same. Okay, so let's start. We have already shared the user manual for investment declarations with everyone on V. So if you have any queries, you can also refer to that particular screenshots which have been already shared with you. Okay, so let's start. So this is a user manual basically which we have made for your investment declarations. So if we start, I hope everybody is able to see the screen. Okay, now starting with this first page. So this is the income tax slab. Okay, a person can go and check whether this is the slab wise. We have made the taxable income. So basically, if you fall in this particular slab, you will able to see what kind of tax will be deducted from their particular salary. So this is a chart which you can refer to check in which slab do you belong to. Okay, so this chart is there in your particular screenshots. Moving ahead, so these are the deduction tables which we have also included in the particular screenshots, in which you can go and check where you can declare and where you can go and do your investment. So it's everything is here in section 80, section 80CC, section 80D, everything you can check here. Okay, so this is for the year 2018 and 19, so you can refer and accordingly, this will help you out for putting your declarations in census. Okay, now these are the steps which we have mentioned, that how you have to go and do your investment declarations in census. So the basic step, as you have to first log into your particular account with your username and password. Okay, so we have an option here called investment declaration, TDS investment declarations. So if you click on this particular option, there is an option called new. Okay, so you have to select that particular option. So this is the screen which will appear. Okay, if you can see, this is the screen which will appear, in which everything is mentioned, TDS declaration for the financial year 18-19. And there is one option called declaration based. If you click that option, you will get two options. One is projected and one is actual. So as this is the beginning of the year, we would be selecting the option of projected. Okay, so you need to select the option of projected. Once you select this option, below is the drop down where you can go and put your declarations as per your investments. Okay, so we have for rent, we have for whatever, I mean, whatever drop downs are there, you can in ATC, in ATD, whatever would be your investments, you have to put the amounts. So in this particular column, you have to mention the figures. Okay, so whatever would be your declaration, you can put the amounts at the time of at the time when you project. Okay, so please let me know if I'm going too fast, and are we clear till here? Okay, great. So I am getting, I think only Sohail is actively responding to all my questions. No, no one else is active. Sohail, thank you so much for supporting. Okay, that's great. Okay, so going ahead, you have to mention your figures in the particular columns in your particular investments which you were doing. So going back to the screenshots, as I said, first would be your login screen. Everything is mentioned in the screenshots. So if you go, you have to go to the investment declaration option, select that particular option. Then there is a drop down. You have to go to the new option. Once you select the option, you will get this screen where you have to go to the declaration base option and you have to select projected, and accordingly you can put your amounts in front of your whatever investments or whatever declarations you would be making. Okay, once that is done, so precisely, we want to highlight the investments. If anybody is putting their rent details, if anybody is putting their house rent details, you have to precisely also mention the details of your landlord. Okay, so if you see over here, you will get the details of your landlord, which you have to mention the name of your landlord, you have to mention the pan, and also the address of the landlord. So these are the mandatory things if you are declaring for your rent. And here you can mention the amounts of the rent which you are paying for the entire year. Hope I'm clear. Yes, Sadaf, it is mandatory to submit your landlord details. Yeah, I agree. If the rent is, below 98, you are not. It's not compulsory. But as we have this detail mentioned as an amended option in census, then you will have to. You just have to go and fill the details of your landlord. Sadaf, are we on the same page? Okay, so in that case, we'll check if it's not required, then it is fine. But below 98,000, we'll check with the team, with my team also, and accordingly we'll update you. If PAN card would be required, then accordingly you have to put your PAN card details of your landlord. If it's not, then it would be completely fine. We'll update you on this. Okay. So this was a point where I had to highlight about the rent part. Okay, so you have to fill in the details of your landlord as well. So once this is done, once you put all the declarations, once you make all the declarations, once you put all the amount, so basically now you don't have to attach your soft copies in this particular in census, because we are projecting the amount. So you would be uploading or you would be attaching your soft copies at the end of the year when you would be giving the actual amounts. So as of now, when you're projecting, you just have need to mention the amounts against your investments or declarations which you are making. Okay. So going ahead, you have to put or you have to declare your amounts properly whenever you are putting your amounts, because once you submit the investment declaration form, you cannot make any changes ahead. Okay, so make sure whenever you're declaring any amount or whenever you're declaring any investments, you are putting the amount properly, because then there is no option to go back and edit that particular amount. And your salary will be calculated as per the amounts which you are mentioning. So make sure you are you put your amounts and everything properly. So are we clear till here? Okay, so Sohel, which part should I repeat on the rent wala thing? Okay, so if anyone, so precisely we have mentioned this for the rent part. So if you are declaring your rent for the entire year, so you have an option. Okay, you have an option wherein you have to mention the details of your landlord. Okay, if you can see the screen, we have an option given: name of the landlord, pan of the landlord, and address of the landlord. You have to mention all the details. These are mandate details. And whatever would be your amount for the entire year, your rent amount, you have to mention here: April, May, June, July, the rent paid. So here you have to mention the amount, and you have to give details of your landlord. Okay, great. So Harshita, as you have raised a query, see, before submitting the documents, you can make any changes if you want. But once you have submitted, once you click the option of submit and you get a message that your investment declarations are successfully submitted, after that you cannot make any changes. So before you submit any of the, before we submit the document, make sure you go through it once, have a verification for one more time, and then submit it. I understand this is a projection, but we have not given you the rights to the employees to go back and do any additions or do any addition part in your investment declarations. So you have to get in touch with the HR department, and then again we will delete that investment declaration, and again you have to upload the entire declarations from the start. So it's better, you do the verification part properly, and then only press the submit button. I hope we are clear, Harshita. Okay, great. So moving ahead, as I said, once you submit the investment declaration form, you cannot make any further changes. If you do so, you can get in touch with the HR department anytime. We'll help you out. Then, but we have to again delete that form, and again you have to fill in the new forms from start. So, while doing the while declaring for the first time, you make sure you put the amounts properly. Yeah. So Arun, coming on your problem, so we have to one more person who is facing the same issue, and we have already raised the query to the census team why it's happening. It should be something from the admin part, from the backend part. We'll resolve it very soon, and we'll update you once it is resolved. As I said, as we had a conversation over this also, Arun, I've already raised a query to the census team. Okay, for this, if you want, we can extend the date of the submission for 2 days more. So now it is, I guess it's on 26. We can make it till 27, 28. Is it fine? Okay, great. So yes, one more thing I would like to add on this, that when now as Arun has a query, whenever he is trying to send the submit option, he's getting an error called non-configuration found for this employee. So any of you, yeah, Abhineet. Yeah, I'll come to your query as well. So any of you is getting this particular message of non-configuration found for this employee, you can quickly just have a print screen and you can share that message which is getting with us. As we are trying to resolve this query with the census team. So once that is done, then we would be on the same page. So if any other people also is getting the same message, please do let me know, and please get in touch with Satish or with me. Okay, so coming on Abhineet's query, so how do you know what should be LTA declared? So Abhineet, for this, I guess Mr. Satish would be the right person. He would inform you what exactly is the amount and how much you have to declare on the LTA part. So as he is not around today, can we get in touch offline or over the phone for this? Okay, thank you so much. So after submitting your income tax declaration form, this particular screen will appear. So where you will get a drop down, you will get a box of date of submission, projected, full, submitted. So you can also see the status that it's been submitted, but it's not been accepted by the HR department. Okay. So if you want to view that how it is seen, and you want to go back and check whether you have put all the figures properly or not, you have an option. You have an option of view over here. So you can click on that option view and you can see what all amounts you have projected or what all amounts you have declared. Okay, so as I said that you will get a drop down of submit over here. So we have this below. So here you can see, I'll show it too in my screenshots only. So after putting all the declarations, as I said, you have to select the option called submit. So here is the option. Okay, here you have to submit and then it will directly go to the HR department. Okay, once that is done, your exceptions and your investments would be accepted by the HR department itself. Okay, so you have to submit and it will go to the HR department. So if in case you have any queries, you can get in touch with us. Okay, you can refer this particular screenshot and this particular file at the time of declaring your investments. Okay, so this was all about the declaration part. It's very easy, very convenient for you as well as for us also. And once you have done your declaration part, you have to take a printout of the declarations which you have done through Census, and you have to submit a hard copy to the HR department as well. Okay, so make sure you also share the hard copy. So we have two proofs. We have a hard copy with us as well, and we have it in the system as well. So I hope we are clear till here. Any questions till now? So Arun, this document, whenever you will submit, you have an option for print also. So you can print that document from Census, and you can take a printout and share it with the HR department. Yes, so Abhineet, to just to ignore this thing, and as I said in the last year, we had a lot of problems we faced on the TDS deduction part. So we have come up with this thing wherein you yourself can go and put your declarations over Census, so there won't be any ambiguity in regards to the amounts, because you have a transparency about your tax calculation, and even we have a transparency about the tax calculation. It will help. Let's try, Abhineet. It will surely help. So incentives also would be included in your salary from this year. Okay, as in census it was done offline, and then it was added into census. But then this time we'll make sure we include your incentives also, and we do the tax calculation part considering your incentives. So Sadaf, as I said, you have to put your declarations and census, take a printout, and you can share it as there is some problem also in the census for the submitting option. So we can extend the dates till I guess we can put it till end of the month. Is it fine? You can share the declarations till end of this month. Okay, so today it's 25th. So you can fill in all the documents, fill in all the details in census, and you can share it to us by say Monday on 30th of April. Would it be fine? I don't think so, Sohail, because I think it won't take to go to the declaration option and put your amounts. I don't think it would at least take more than an hour or so, because you just have to mention all the amounts which you would be declaring for the entire year. Just take a printout and share it with the finance, HR department. I'm sorry. Cool. So I hope I'm clear with everyone in regards to the investment declaration part, which I've introduced new in Senses. If you still have any queries going forward or going ahead, you can get in touch with the HR department. You can speak to Mr. Satish or you can speak to me anytime. Last date, as I mentioned, Abhineet, it would be as we are facing some problems while submitting the option also. So we can keep it in on 30th of 30th of April. Abhineet, the last date would be on 30th of April. Okay. Anything else you people want to add on, or any else queries you do you have? Because then I would be moving on to the HR policies which we have implemented for this year. So shall we start with the HR policies? Are we clear on the investment declaration part? Okay. So on investment declaration, again, I'm saying the same thing. You have the screenshots with you. You can refer to the screenshots. You can get in touch with the HR department anytime if you come across anything, if you have any queries going forward. Okay. So now I would be going to the policies which we have implemented for the year 2018 and 19. So as everybody is aware, we have introduced new flexible working hours. We have introduced two fixed week off. So these are the two major things and major changes which are being made. Okay. So we have introduced two week offs that are on second and fourth Saturday, and this HR handbook is already been shared with everyone. So you can also refer to this HR handbook, and it has been seen and it has been observed that still we are getting issues, or we are getting queries from people stating that what we have to do if we are taking an off on second of Saturday, fourth of Saturday. Everything is already mentioned in the handbook, and we have shared this handbook long back, and I still believe people have not gone through the handbook yet. So I would request everyone, please go through the handbook. Abhineet, I'll come to your query. So I would request everyone to please go through the handbook once, and please check, because every people still are not checking and following the rules which were previously set. They are still in the assumption of 10 to 7 concept, where 10:10 is the grace timing, and you can come up till 10:10. No, this everything has been changed. So I would request you all to please go through the HR handbook which has been already shared with everyone. Okay. So we have introduced flexible working hours, wherein we have added three shifts. So the first shift starts from 9 to 6, the second shift starts from 10 to 7, and the third shift starts from 11 to 8. So you can take any of these particular shifts, but this would be prior your approval to your manager. If your manager is approving your that particular shift, then only you can go ahead and take that shift. Okay. So you should get an approval from your manager to use that particular shift. Okay. So any one of you is using this particular any of the shift of between this three shifts, you have to make sure that you have to cover your 9 hours of working. This 9 hours of working is very mandatory. Now I am getting queries like, I have punched in the morning by 10 to, and I punched out in the evening at 7 to. You cannot have this cut to cut timings, because the 9 hours of working has to get calculated, or else it will directly show as a half day in census. So make sure you please keep a buffer of 5 minutes at the time of leaving. Okay, don't keep a cut to cut timing wherein you come by 10 to and you leave by 7 to. Okay, I would suggest everyone don't do that, because if you do so, you will see a pop-up of half day in your particular calendar, and that would be considered as a half day because it's not calculating the entire 9 hours of working. So make sure you keep a buffer of 5 hours, sorry, 5 minutes at the time of leaving. Okay, so if you come by 10 to, make sure you leave by at least by 7:05 or say 7:10. Okay, so please keep a buffer of 5 minutes, or it will create a lot of problem at the time for us also, and for you also, and for us it will create a lot of problem at the time of calculating the salary. Okay, so are we clear on the timings? Are we clear on the flexible hours? I hope everyone is clear. Yes, Monica, that's what I'm telling you. You have to, I am emphasizing that point that you have to complete your 9 hours of working. And the flexible hours also, we have created 3 shifts. So you can take any of the shift, but that would be prior to your manager's approval. Yeah, it can be any shift. Monica, it can be any shift, but then it should be approved by your manager that if your manager is Abhineet is aware that you're taking this shift and Abhineet is approving that particular shift. Harshita, it is flexible. I am not saying that you don't have to take the shifts, but yes, your manager should be aware about what timing are you working into. Sorry, Sadaf, I didn't get your point. Yeah, sure. So give me a moment, guys. Sadaf wants to clear a few things, so I would be having a word with Sadaf. Hi, Sadaf.
Hi, hi Shraddha, Manish this side.
Yeah, hi, Manish.
Shraddha, just a quick question. So, as per our
Mhm.
understanding, and of course, as per the email received from
Mhm.
Hill, that as per the flexi shift component, so it says that an employee needs to be in the office, of course, anytime between 11 to, I mean, 11 to 6, it's mandatory, but you can
Mhm.
clock in 9 hours of production in between. Now,
Yeah,
what we have understood so far, that we can come to office anytime before 11 and not leave the
Mhm.
office before 6, but our production should be 9 hours, but we haven't
Yeah.
been given any kind of slotting in terms of shift.
See, slotting in terms of shifts. This is these 3 shifts are been decided by us. Okay, so I am not saying that you cannot come by 9:30. You have to come by 9 only. You can come by 9:30, but then you have to make sure that you're covering your 9 hours of shift.
Yeah,
That we are
exactly.
doing.
So that we are
Yeah.
doing. So we are ensuring that 9 hours of production, and I mean,
Yes,
is
yes. That
definitely
yes,
calculated by the system.
yes, perfect, perfect. So you have to keep one thing in head that 9 hours of work shift has to be completed. Either you come
Yes,
by
yes.
9 o'clock, you come by 9:15, you come by 9:30. But make sure you
Got
complete your 9 hours of working.
exactly, exactly. So the production hours will be calculated. That's for sure. Yes,
Yes,
we are very
yes.
clear about it.
Completely, completely. So I think Monica has the same query as she's saying that I came by 9:30. Yes, she can come by 9:30, but then she has to make sure she leaves by 10:30. And why I'm saying that please don't, use this cut to cut timings. That see, I am getting queries where people are coming in by 9:30 and leaving sharp by, I'm just giving an example. So people are coming by, say, 10 to and leaving by 7 to. So using this timing very cut to cut won't calculate your entire 9 hours. So if you do so also, no, you will see half day on that particular day. So where I'm suggesting everyone at least keep a buffer of 5 minutes.
Okay. Yeah, and
Okay, so
also
if
if
you're
we log out before 9 hours, Shilpa, what is in that
Shraddha,
case? Yeah, sorry, Shilpa.
yeah,
Shraddha, sorry, Shraddha. Yeah. So if we log out before 9 hours, so what will happen in that case?
in that
If we
case it
come
will
late,
show half
if
day
come late,
completely. It will show half day. It will show a gray color in your
okay,
calendar, and that will be as in half day.
okay.
So because of
So
that
that will
reason
be
only,
half
I'm
day.
suggesting everyone that if you're
Mhm.
coming at least by 10 to, make sure you leave by 10:07:05.
Okay. Yeah,
Don't
got
leave
it.
by 7. Huh. So it will not calculate the 9 hours of working because we have, we have mentioned this policy very specifically and very precisely in census. So it will calculate your salary as per your timings only and as per your hours of how much hours you are working. So you have to make sure to complete correct 9 hours of working.
Yeah. Okay, got it.
Okay, so I think I'm clear on that part. You can come by
Yeah,
9. See, you can come by by 10:30 also. You can come by 9:30 also. But make sure
Okay.
you cover your 9 hours of working.
Yeah, that we are
Hmm?
aware of. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
And then keep a buffer of at least 5 minutes.
Yeah, yeah, sure, sure.
Okay, so I hope Sadaf, I hope Manish, I hope Abhinit, and I hope Monica is clear with these points.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so
okay.
even can you communicate the same to Monica because she's asking the same thing. If she's
Yeah,
around, I mean, if she is.
yeah, I'll say her.
Okay, okay. Thank you. Yeah. Okay, we had a query from the Bangalore team. I think I should clear that query to everyone. So I am not saying that as we have designed this particular three shifts, you have to follow those three shifts. Like you have to come by 6 and you have to leave by, or you have to come by 9 and you have to leave by 6. No, you can come by 9:30 also. You can come by 10:30 also. But then you have to make sure that you are covering all the your 9 hours of working. So if you come by 10:30, you have to leave by 7:30. So it's not mandatory that you have to come by 9 and go by 6, come by 10 and go by 7, come by 11 and go by 8. You can come at 9:15, you can come at 10, 9:30, but make sure you cover your 9 hours of working. So I hope we are clear on the flexible hours and the timing thing. So Monica, I think I'm clear with you. Monica, am I audible to you? Okay, so I hope I'm clear on the shifts, on the flexible hours part and the on the shifts which we are using. Okay, now going ahead, we have an off on second and fourth Saturday. Initially, we had only one off that was on third Saturday, but now we have started up with the second and fourth Saturday as well. Okay, so now for head office for the head office, Mumbai head office, we have second and fourth Saturday. For corporate business, again, we have second and fourth Saturday. But for retail center and online business, we have this off, and as it would be as per the business requirement. So if people are working on second Saturday, they can opt for a comp off in a week, in between a week, or on any of the week on the weekends, like on first Saturday or third Saturday. But then they have to opt for a comp off in census. That is very mandatory. So if you're working on second or fourth Saturday, you can take an off, but you have to make sure that you're putting an application and you're applying for a comp off for that particular day. Am I clear? Am I clear with everyone? Everyone is able to hear me? Am I audible? So I'm not getting any response from Sohail. I think I'm not audible to anyone. Okay, okay, cool. Thanks, Abhineet. Thanks, Kripa. So we are clear on the mandatory offs which are been set for everyone for HO as well as for retail business and for online as well. So if you're working on any of the second, if you're working on second or fourth Saturday, you are eligible to take a comp off on a weekdays or any of the weekends. But you have to make sure you are putting a compensatory off and you're putting an application and census for the same and your manager is approving it. Okay, so moving ahead with the timing, I would like to highlight few things as well. So, as here it is, everything is mentioned in the work timings. Employee needs to work for minimum 9 hours between any time, any shifts which are available. Then working hours would be 9 hours, as I said, including 1 hour of break. Then half day would be considered. In half day, you have to work for mandate 5 hours. Then only a half day would be considered. So you have, whenever you're taking an half day, make sure you're completing your five hours of working. Then only a half day would be considered. Okay, so if in case you are coming after 11, as I said, you have to be in the office before 11. So if you are coming in case in any situation, if any of the employees coming after 11, late mark would be considered. And for the same, we have 3 late marks allowed. On the fourth late mark, your half day salary will be deducted. Okay, so your half day salary would be deducted from your leave balance. If you don't have a leave balance, your salary will you will be having a loss of pay. So you make sure you maintain your leave balance also. In case of early departure also, if you're leaving before 6 p.m., it would be considered as a early departure. Again, same policy as we have for the late marks. 3 early departures are allowed. On the first, your half day salary would be deducted. Again, it would be deducted from your PL balance. If you don't maintain your PL balance, it would be a loss of pay. Okay, so we have covered the working hours, the working timings, the flexible hours. We have covered the week off. We have also covered the late mark policy and the early leaving policy. So, do you have any issues in the same? Can we move ahead? Hope everyone is clear till here. So that we cannot consider any comp off for the month of, for the month of March. I'm really sorry for that. Hi, Manish. Yes, yes. And if you're working on Sundays also, we have made it mandatory for everyone that for if you work on Sundays also, you have to apply for a comp off, because for other employees, it is assigned as a week off on Sundays. But as you guys work on, I guess you work on Sundays and you take a off on Monday, if I'm not wrong, for the trainers. So whenever if you're working on Sunday, you have, and if you're taking an off on Monday, you have to put in comp off. You have to apply it on comp off, and you have to get it approved by your managers. So that for which month is it? Is it for April? Yeah, for March this was not implemented. For March this policy was not implemented. This is implemented in the month of April only, where you have to go apply and get it approved from by your managers. And I hope for the month of March there are no deductions as such happened for those particular days. No, I'm asking, do you guys had any deductions in your salary? Okay, so you had deductions in your comp off, you're saying. But that comp off and that leaves are already been lapsed, Sadaf, so we cannot do anything in that case now. And it cannot get carry forwarded also. We don't have the policy of carry forwarding the leaves or for the PL also. Yes, no, the comp offs also. Okay. So, Monica, so we have a process for applying for CompOff also. I'll show what exactly is the process. I'll explain you how you have to go. We have a process for applying for CompOff also. So I'll explain you how exactly the process works, Monica. Last time, as in So you are saying that it got carry forwarded in the last year. Okay, okay. Because this year it was not been told, because everything got lapsed, your leaves got lapsed, your everything which was there in the previous year, including your PL, your comp of everything got lapsed. So, so for more clarity, Sadaf, on the comp of part, I'll speak to the management what exactly it happened. Yeah, sure. Just a second. Hi,
Hi
Sadaf.
Shraddha, Manish here.
Manish or Sadaf?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Manish
both,
this
both
side.
are here.
Both. I mean, almost we have the same issue. So Shraddha, how
Okay.
it works is, I mean, I don't know why how it has been done this time, but what ideally the rule is that because we trainers and of course the governance as per the business requirement, we actually work on Sundays more,
Mm-hmm.
and like almost 3 Sundays that we work in a month. So
Okay.
we have taken, I mean, we had our classes and other requirements and other stuff on Sunday. So March
Mm-hmm.
has to be carried to April because see, if we work for 3 Sundays, the only option of taking it as a comp off is in the next month. So it's like we have worked for like almost 7 days consistently for 3 weeks. So it cannot be only the paid leave and the privileged leave gets lapsed. But the comp off should be carried forward because this has been how it has been last 3 years, and I'm very sure that this is how it is followed.
But you don't. If you're saying, see, so if we have trainers here in Mumbai also, so even they have their training sessions on Sundays. So they
Correct,
guys
correct.
take an off on Monday. So don't you guys, adjust your
No, no, no,
your.
no, sir. That's the reason what I'm saying is because our requirement here is little, I mean, on the stringent side. So what happens that let's say that if I take work on a particular Sunday and there is a
Mm-hmm.
requirement stating that Monday you have to be available, of course, because now I hit the training and other stuff. So I have to be
Okay.
there in terms of taking the talking to the clients and all. So I have worked on
Okay.
that regard for 3 Sundays, which means 7 days consistently for 3 weeks because I did not have a
Okay.
choice.
Okay.
So
So
that was the issue. Yeah.
okay, this is for you and Sadaf as well.
Yeah, exactly, exactly, obviously. And for other trainers, I mean, the only reason being here, our trainers also look for Coimbatore. They also take care of the Coimbatore team and Marathalli. So it becomes little
Okay.
difficult for us to manage. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So what I'll do is, Manish, in this
Yeah.
for this query, I'll speak to the management also. I'll speak to Mr.
No
Amit
problem.
Ratanpal also, and we'll
Sure,
figure
sure,
out
sure.
something. And if I'll check if it is possible to carry forward those comp off in the month of April, we'll
Yeah, because
surely do that.
we did not have like 5, 6 Shraddha, but we had around like 2 or 3. But you know what the
Okay.
thing is, these 2 and 3, we have worked like 7 days kind of
Right.
stuff for
I
like
totally
almost a month.
understand. Yeah, I totally
Yeah.
understand. Okay, no problem. I'll just raise this query. I'll speak to Amit on this, and whatever it
Sure.
would be, we'll just put it over the email, and we'll what if it is possible, and if we have a policy where we carry forward this thing, then I'll speak to Amit because this was not conveyed to me. If that we need to carry forward the compost because we have lapsed everything for the last year. So I'll speak to
I
Amit
get the
once and
point.
I'll raise this. Yeah, I'll raise this query
Sure.
with Amit in regards to other centers,
Sure.
to other trainers, especially only for the trainers. Yes, this would be
Yeah.
precisely only for the trainers and not for the other
Yeah,
employees.
to the
Because
yeah, governance,
because it should
of
not
course.
happen that we raise the query and you raise the query and you have done it for the trainers, done it for us also. To be
No,
very
because
precise
Shraddha,
over to
the
this, yeah.
yeah, the other teams are not actually, I mean, they don't have any reason to work on Sundays until unless there is an exception. But
Huh.
of course, because our scheduling is such that we end up working on Sundays.
Right. No, but sometimes scholars do work, sometimes counselors do
Yeah,
work
yeah,
on
exactly,
Sundays
exactly.
as
I
per the
don't think they
business
have this
requirement.
issue. It's only more towards governance and training. Yeah.
Cool. So this policy would be precisely worked for trainers only. I will speak to Amit, and if there are any changes, there would be precisely for the trainers only.
No, Shraddha, the question here is the comp off we earn only when you worked on a Sunday. So obviously you can't nullify a comp off, right? Just because you have worked
Yeah,
on a
that's
Sunday.
what that's
Yeah,
what I'm that's what I'm
privilege
saying.
is there in the policy and we agree. So, but suddenly if you're canceling all the comp offs, so they have worked on a Sunday. It's not only about trainers; it's about the department who work on Sundays. whether it can be more of a front office here in Bangalore, governance, or the
But
callers.
Manish, I hope everyone is taking their comp off properly. I am not saying about trainers, but if any of the counselor is also working on Sunday, they make sure to take a comp off in the weekdays.
But again, here the business requirement something it's very different.
Yeah,
That sometimes we don't have a
if it's a business requirement, I totally understand. So for that only, I'm saying I'll have to speak because I cannot make any commitments from my end. So I
yeah,
speak
that's
to
a
the management. Yeah, I'll speak to
sure.
Amit also over this because last time also we have a trainer from Mumbai, Mr. Arun Upadhyay, and he raised a query on your flexible hours. So he said, what if we come by 8 and we go? We start our training sessions morning in the 8 and we complete it by 5 o'clock. So in that case, would it be as an early leaving? So we have also implemented a new shift for trainers, precisely for trainers that starts from 8
Okay.
to 5.
Okay, you can check on this and let us know because even Amit's front office
Sorry.
and the admin team over here is waiting for that because most of them have worked on a Sunday because March was an year end. Obviously, most of them have worked on a Sunday.
Okay, cool. I'll work on this.
Okay, fine.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, so Manish and Sadaf, as I said that I'll work on it. I'll speak to the management. I'll speak to Mr. Amit Ratanpal about this, and we'll surely figure it out. What can we do? Okay, so guys, moving ahead with the HR policies, we have implemented maternity leave, which we already had, but initially we had it for 3 months. Now, as per the government policy, we have made it for 6 months. Okay, so you can also go through the maternity leave policy, which is mentioned in the HR handbook. Okay, so for this we have a segment where a female employee should should complete at least 1 year of her employment in the organization so that she would be eligible for opting for the maternity policy, which is already mentioned in the policy, so you can go through it. So we have also implemented paternity leave. Okay, for the male employees, we have implemented the paternity policy as well, where he would be entitled for 1 week of paternity leave. Okay, which he has to avail within a month of the date of the birth of their child. So, in regards to the comp of Manju, I'll explain you how you have to apply for the comp of. Okay, we have a process for applying for the comp off as well. I'll explain you how you have to do it. Okay, so quickly, I'll show you how you have to apply for your comp off. So you have to go to the leave application. So here we have an option called new application. You have to select that particular option. Okay, so so applying for comp off for the first time, first you have to select this leave adjustment option. Okay, so you get an option for comp off adjustment. So on the date you're taking a comp off. So for example, if you worked on 2nd of Saturday and you're taking a comp off on say Friday or Tuesday, you have to select on which date you have worked. Okay, so if say you have worked on the second Saturday, that was on 14th, you have to select that particular date and you have to submit. So you have to drop a request for a comp off to your manager. Once that request is accepted by your manager, then you can go and opt. Then one comp off would be added to your to your account. Okay, so first you have to put a request for comp off adjustment. Once you put the request for comp off adjustment, you again have to go and that has to be accepted by your manager. Again, you have to go to the leave application, go to compensatory leave, select the date if for which you're taking a comp off, mention the reason that why are you opting for this comp off, on which date have you applied for the comp off, and submit it to your manager. Okay, so this is the process which you have to follow while applying for comp off, and it is for everyone. Okay, so first, I'll come back to the point again. First, you have to make a request for comp off adjustment for that particular date. You have to send it to your manager. Once your manager approves it, you will get a comp of balance added in your kitty. Okay, once that is added, you have to go and select the date on which you're taking a comp off and submit it to your manager. I hope I'm clear, Manju. I hope I am clear, Monica. And I hope I'm clear to everyone that how you have to use this comp off. So first make an adjustment, comp off adjustment. Okay, take an approval from your manager and then apply for a comp off in the leave application option. Okay. So again, going back to the policies. So we have introduced maternity. We have changes to 6 months as per the government policy. We have introduced paternity leaves for male employees. Coming under dress code, as we always have a formal dress code. So in which we have also mentioned what kind of dress code, what are the attires for men, what are the attires for women. Now in the previous year we had a casual day on Friday, but now we have changed it to Saturday. So your formal day would be from Monday to Friday and your casual day would be on Saturday. But this also varies to the businesses. So people, so, for the employees who are client facing, who are student facing, for the business development team, this is not applicable for Saturdays. For in that case, your suggested attire for men would be business casual attire, jeans and corduroys won't be entertained. And for women's, again, it would be a business casual attire, jeans and corduroys won't be entertained or won't be allowed. Okay, this is for the people who are client facing or who are student or who are on the student facing role. Okay, so again coming back to the point, Monday to Saturday we have a formal day. Monday to Friday we have a formal day. On Saturday we have a casual day. But for on Saturday, for people for the employees who are on the student facing role, who are on the client facing role, for them we have a specific attire mentioned in the employee handbook. Jeans and corduroy won't be entertained for them. I hope I'm clear till here to everyone. So are we on the same page? I mean, am I clear to everyone? Do you have any questions till now? Do you have any queries in regards to your formal dressing? Am I clear to everyone? I'm not getting any response. Please respond, people. Thanks, Monica. Thanks, Sadaf. Thanks, Kripa. Okay, so moving on the last segment, salaries. As salary dates are not changed, it would be credited on 3rd of every month. If we have an holiday on 3rd, it would be postponed for the very next day. So you also get emails from the HR department on this. If we have any holiday, we postpone the salary crediting part on the next day. That would be on 4th max. Okay, but your salary would be credited on 3rd of every month. Okay, so I hope I'm clear. We are almost done on the policies, on the new HR policies which have been implemented. We are almost done on the investment declarations also. Medical policy. Okay, so Kripa, we would be implementing this medical policy. Probably you would be getting an email from the HR side by next week, say. Okay, so surely by next week we would be introducing this and we would be making an announcement for the same. Okay, so we have also added on the medical policy, and by next week we'll make an announcement for sure. Yes, Harshita. Yes, Harshita. Okay, so I hope I'm clear on the investment declaration part. I hope I'm clear on the HR policies. We have everything documented as well for you. So you can also refer to the screenshots. In if you have any queries for your policies, you can go and refer to the handbook. Still, if you have any queries, you can get in touch with the HR department, Mr. Satish, or myself, Shraddha, or anyone from the HR department, say Shilpa, Divya, Shraddha, anybody can help you out. So anytime if you have any queries, you can reach out to the HR department and will help you out for the same. So I'm almost done and I'm ending up with this session. Thank you so much for attending this session, and I hope I have cleared doubts for everyone. And for queries which have been raised as from Mr. Sadaf and Mr. Manish, as I said, I will speak to the management. I will speak to Mr. Amit Ratan Pal, and I will get this sorted. And whatever it would be, we will implement, and will update you about the same. So Sadaf and Manish, are you okay with this? Okay, cool. Thank you so much for attending this session. One more thing I wanted to add on. In the last session, we had a queries for the trainers when the flexible hours won't be much helpful from them, because sometimes the training session starts by 8 and it ends up by 5. In that case, for the trainers, it would be considered as a half day. So we had this query last time. So we have implemented a new timings or new shift timings precisely for the trainers, making this clear again. This is only precisely for the trainers and not for the other employees. Okay, so for the trainers, we have started up with the new flexible timings of 8 to 9, because they start their session and they start their training by 8 o'clock in the morning, which ends up by 5. So whenever you have your session or whenever you have your training, you can opt for this particular shifts. These shifts are only precisely assigned to the trainers across board. Okay, I hope I'm clear. This shifts is only assigned to the trainers across board. Okay, so we would be soon. We have already assigned the shifts to the trainer, so you can use this trainer. You can use the shift from 8 o'clock to 5 o'clock, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Okay, I hope Manish is there. Okay, cool. So I hope we are on the same phase and I have cleared everything with you. So I am ending up with the session. Thank you so much for attending. Have a nice day ahead. Thank you, people.